Hi, I'm Robin.
And I'm Bill.
Welcome to Not the Retirement Show. Today we're chatting about 5 tips to make sure that you work smarter, not harder in retirement. You know, to my mind, Bill, this is a time when quality of life is king. So if you are working, whether it's because you need to work or you want to work, my whole thinking on this is it's really important to make smart decisions so that you enjoy your life. You enjoy your working time, you enjoy your private lifetime.
Well, absolutely, that's right. It is a difference between, you want to work or do something compared to you must work. In other words, we go back to that shortfall again vis-a-vis the pension income or something like that. So that's your first call. I think the second thing that I would say is that, at least in theory, you've got a set of skills that you've developed over the years. So therefore, those skills can be used, like for a new business. But I think there's another aspect of that. In theory, you should be wiser. You've got wisdom. You've got years of experience of wisdom. And I think, I find it sometimes myself where you just immediately somebody says, hey, let's do this. And you just immediately go, nah, well, I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't want to say that that's my wisdom. I don't want to say it quite like that, but that is years of experience, just comes out immediately. Don't overlook that. That wisdom build-up that you've built up over many, many years, decades, probably, either in business or just in general life. You've got to listen to that. You should listen to your own self going, yeah, I don't see that. I don't think that's a good idea. So wisdom will, in theory, at least make you work smarter, not harder, because it will just come naturally.
Oh, for sure. I agree with this. When you're in college and you have to have summer employment so that you're going to be able to pay your school fees and your books and whatever for the following year, you'll take any old job you can get your hands on. Anything at all, if that comes close to meeting your financial needs, you're all over it. But when you're older, it's more of a balancing act and finding the sweet spot, which is somewhere between what you have to do, what you want to do, and what you need to do. And making 3 columns on a piece of paper regarding, and write it out in words. What do I have to achieve here? And then stop and pause. What do I want to do here? What do I want to achieve? And then on the 3rd column, what do I need to get out of this experience? And see what that all adds up to down at the bottom of the page.
I would add a 4th one. I think it's what can I do? I think.
Well, that's the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
What can I do that meets all of those 3?
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I always wanted to be a Formula One race car driver. It never happened. Ain't going to happen now. So that's something I can't do, and I recognise that. And I think as you get older, as I say, you become wiser. But I think you also sort of get to the point of reality. You simply face reality much easier, much better, more efficiently, more effectively. And you just say, no, that's not for me. I'm not going to do that. Whereas, as you correctly say, it's a good example. When you were younger in your college days or something, you would take anything that came along. Would you like to go and work in the supermarket? To stack shelves?
Oh, let's tell them the truth. You worked in a brickyard. It was a terribly difficult, hot, labor-intensive job.
Oh, yeah.
I made submarine sandwiches in a shopping mall. That's what we needed to do, and we got jobs on very short notice, and we made the best of it in order to get where we needed to. But when you're older, things are different. Let me explain about that. You've achieved a certain amount in your life already, particularly if you're watching this and you're over the age of 65. And one of your options is to decide how to live frugally so that you don't actually need as much money as you used to think you needed in order to get through a month, in order to live your life. Figure out what it is that you can cut out so that remaining amount of money that you have to come up with, it's actually smaller.
Well, yeah, I mean, your first question was what's smarter rather than harder. That opens up the whole question about physical work against, I would call it mental work, etc. You know, in previous videos, we've talked about writing or doing podcasts or doing video casts or whatever sort of thing. You know, there's not much physical work involved. You know, in that, but there's a lot of mental stuff. I wouldn't say it's stressful, but you know, you got to think about it, sort of thing. And then obviously, as you get older, you can handle that. But you know, can you handle the physical exertions? You know, perhaps well, perhaps at the moment you can, but then as you get older, yeah, it doesn't become so obvious. That's working harder at that particular point in time. Whereas the podcasting or whatever it may be, I think that's working smarter.
I agree it is, but I'm going to stick on the frugal bandwagon, and I'm going to suggest that you also make it a life policy if you're living on a, I'm going to call it a tight budget in later life, never to buy new what you can thrift or trade or repurpose. And if you really employ some ingenuity, and a lot of the things that you would be normally be reaching to your wallet for, beyond food and electricity, of course, which are basic necessities, a lot of those other things, you can find a way to get them either very, very cheaply or get them entirely for free.
Yeah, but yeah, the other thing I would say is that, you know, the retirement years is your time. You know, I don't want to say it's the final chapter of your life, but you know, there's a finite nature to this. So you want to be doing something that you enjoy. So, you know, I mean, even though you see a tremendous job, let's say, or just activity, but it's an hour and a half drive away from home, and therefore, you know, same coming back. So a 3-hour drive round about commuting. You know, you did that all your life. You want to do that again? I mean, I wouldn't. So, I mean, regardless of how good that thing is, you know, I mean, maybe for 1 or 2 years, that's fine. But again, it goes back to the budget side. If you have to do it, great. Now you've got a choice to make. You know, if I have to go there, spend an hour and a half, you know, driving there, or in the bus or the train or whatever it may be, okay, I'm going to get paid when I get there, you know, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days a week. But is this what I really want to do? This is your time. You know, you have to budget your time. I don't mean financially, just time. You have to sort out the time and say, you know, I don't think it necessarily means to say rest and relaxation. If you want to look at it like that, that's fine. I don't think that's what I'm saying. I'm just simply saying it's your time to do whatever you want. But if you feel that you've been forced into having to do something because you've got a financial shortfall, yeah, it's not such a great idea.
You know, you're making me realize there's one more thing I would add to all of this. Don't be afraid to change things up quite radically. You know, Bill's just said that he wouldn't enjoy driving around in a car terribly much at this point in his life. But if you're somebody who's been chained to a desk indoors in an office, the idea of a part-time job making deliveries, that where you're outside and you're driving around and you're seeing things and you're meeting people, that might be heaven on earth. So don't be afraid to worry about what you should be doing or thinking about what other people would think of you. If the job, the idea really appeals to you, go for it.
I think my last point would be, and I make this point a lot, probably in every video we do, I make this point, but I'm going to say it again. Look, if you feel that you want to do this or that, and, you know, maybe it's commuting, or maybe it's hard work, or maybe it's hard, whatever that may be, sort of thing, you can always change your mind. You're not fixed in anything. You are your own boss. You can say, you know what, I thought this would be a great idea, and it was great for the first couple of months, but you know, it's beginning to take its toll, or I'm too tired, or, you know, I don't have the skills, or whatever it may be. You can change your mind. Anybody, everybody can change their mind, especially in the retirement years. Hopefully, you know, the family's been taken care of, the house has been taken care of. You don't have any financial or major financial responsibilities. So if you say, you know, well, that was a great idea, but I'm done with that, you can change your mind, no problem.
Absolutely. Well, if you're still watching, we must have said something interesting or helpful. So please subscribe to our channel and we'll chat with you again soon. Take care, everyone.